Brethren, when I came to Abuja, I landed Dutse Alhaji, stayed in Dutse Alhaji for 9 months, preached for a particular friend, and I was sleeping on his 3-seater that hadn't no foam, just skeleton foam. God opened door for me. I went to Dutse Makaranta. From Dutse Makaranta, I moved to Dutse Bokma. Then I went down to Buhari to preach, to stay with Global Light Assembly, and I spent close to 1 year, 9 to 10 months. Then I eventually came down to here, Biaji, to start this church. I want you to see. So you are talking to a pastor who is 30 years of church work. By this November, this church will be 30 years. But I want you to see the journey from Ibadan to here and look at what God did. When I eventually started praying, I'm trying to tell you storms of life. What actually announced this church? You think it happened overnight? The house I started, I couldn't pay the house rent, and then I pay half. When I eventually paid, the landlord gave me an authority. When we started growing, the church started growing, and it was more than my sitting room. We now extended outside. We raised a tent. When we raised a tent, if I tell you how I sweat to be able to raise the tent here, to do the tent, I went somewhere, did work, did labor work, did everything. Here in this kubwa here, you will not know. You will not know. And by the time we raised the tent, the landlady came the next day and asked us to pull it down. She came with police. We pull it down, and the church still continue. We left that place. A brother gave us a land. Pastor, use this land. We raised a tent in that land. Then the church has now started growing, maybe 15, 17, 18, 25 or so. I think Pastor Momo at that time has joined us that time, and the rest. We started trying to push the church. By that time, my news has started going out. They say, Pastor Fire Yaya, Pastor Fire Yaya. That's what they used to call me, Pastor Fire Yaya. And it was spreading gradually. Then God told me to go on 7 days fasting, because I was praying for the growth of the church. That God, I want this church to grow. I only took water for that 7 days. On the 7th day, I was preaching on the power of resurrection on the altar. That was another storm of life that came. That was where Mama, we used to bring her every anniversary before she went to the Lord. I think her daughter is here. Where's Mama Twins? Where is she? Come. He's her mother. I want to tell you the story of how this church grew. I prayed that God should make this church grow. Where are you? Come. I think it's your mother. Yeah, stand. It's her mother. Well, I prayed that God should make this church to grow. I prayed. On that very Sunday, I was expecting church to grow. It was still the same number that came. My mother was part of the people that came. Mama collapsed in the church and died. And members that were supposed to pray with me when I was praying, they went out to start telling people that somebody have died in the church. In the quest, people gathered around. I'm trying to tell you storms of life. See, I did not do anything. I never put my hand in anything. It was grace that found me out. Mama gave up, and the worst part of it, the church was not as organized as this. The ushers carried Mama and came and dropped on the altar where I was preaching. They dropped her on the altar. Preaching stopped. I was now trying to pray for Mama. As I was praying, I was hearing gossip. It is not today people gossip leaders. You don't know what will happen when evil happen to you. That's where you know the heart of people. That somebody sat close to you and is quiet, it doesn't mean the person mean well. Some people are only coming to see how it will end. Some people are coming to see how it will end, so that they can have something to say. A nurse was among our members. She touched the pulse of Mama and she whispered to me She's gone. Say, Papa, she said to me loud and clear, let's take her and rush her to the hospital. We assume she died in the hospital. You know, for the first time of my life, I want Obama Penny Ekun Ikoro, bitter tears. And the reason why it was bitter, why I wept like a baby while holding Mama, was one. I said, Lord, with all this journey, from this place, church close, to that place, church close, to this place, church close, with these years in Ibadan, you now ask me to come, only to come and disgrace me in Abuja. Why did you ask me to do 7 days fasting, and just at the day I have not tested oil, only water? This is what you brought to me again. That was my tears. It was only me who knew what was going on. Then while it was going on, I never knew. As I was praying, God delayed to restore Mama back so that the people who need to see should see. That was what happened. Because if they have come and the miracle had happened before that time, they wouldn't have appreciated it. They would have said it was arranged. But God allowed them. They saw how lifeless. You carry her hand, nothing. It was there. That was when God said, slap her 3 times. And when I was even giving her the first slap, I heard them say, wicked man. Are you seeing it? Mama, her mother, she died at what age now? 88. Mama died at 88. Mama came to life in the church service. That was how people start singing from that street. They were shouting, come and see the wonders of God. Mama came to life, danced with us. We did dance. After everything, the next Sunday the church picked up. That's how it started growing. That's how I started growing. Hear me, it was not media that brought the breakthrough. It was God arranged. Sometimes God will arrange a storm in order to set you up for the next level. God will arrange a storm in order to set you up for the next level.